Okay, good evening ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Oaktree Arena on this rather blustery grey evening here in Somerset for the Premier League match between the Cases Somerset Rebels and the Newcastle Diamonds. Full strength Rebels team tonight, but the number one from the Diamonds, Steve Worrell, is missing. He's riding for his parent club Bellevue tonight. So to replace him is rider replacement, which arguably weakens the Diamonds, but a few of their riders like the Oaktree Arena. Matej Kus, for instance, last week rode in the pairs match and was the only rider to defeat the Grajczonek Tungate pairing. And even last year here at the Oaktree Arena, Matej Kus scored 16 points. So hopefully the meeting will be underway soon. The track's looking in great condition, similar actually to last week, only without the crosswind that we suffered, which dried the track out. Weather pretty much set fair. There's a few specks in the air as I speak, but hopefully another good meeting with some super racing here at the Oaktree Arena.
Right. Can you just tell us about last week and your thoughts on for tonight?
Yeah, it was a good win last week, and yeah, we rode good and done the job we had to, and we knew we couldn't get no last places, so yeah, we concentrated on that and yeah, got the job done.
And tonight, what's your thoughts on tonight?
The weather's not the greatest at the moment, but no, I think we'll be right, and the track looks good, and yeah, we just got to again finish up the pointy end each time, and we'll be right.
And Newcastle without Stevie Worrell, that's obviously going to make them a little bit weaker, do you think?
Yes and no. We could make them a bit stronger. Just depends. We just got to attack hard and do the job right.
We'll let you get on. I know the weather's closing in on us, so let's just try and get the meeting on and have a good bit of racing.
Thank you.
Cheers.
We're at the Oaktree Arena. Certainly not as warm here this evening. Overcast, few raindrops in the air as well. We'll give you the two teams, starting with Somerset at full strength. Josh Grajczonek at 1, Bradley Wilson-Dean at 2, Charles Wright is at 3, Paul Starke rides at number 4, Rohan Tungate is at 5, Jake Allen is at 6, and Zach Wajtknecht, he rides at number 7. And for the Newcastle Diamonds, as Pete said in his interview, or his intro before the meeting, ride replacement for Steve Worrell at number 1. They could miss his input here this evening. Victor Pavlovaara rides at number 2. The young Swede coming into the Newcastle side this year. Matej Kus at number 3. He's a quality performer, rode very well here last week in the pairs. At number 4 is Lugvig Lindgren. He's in a rich vein of form of late. Robert Lambert, he's a quality performer. He's at number 5 there. Lewis Rose is at 6. He's doing well. And Danny Phillips, he is struggling a bit at number 7. Newcastle could cause some damage here tonight. So here we go then. The riders out on track. And well, it's certainly an intriguing battle. This Newcastle, where they've got a few matches in hand over teams above them, but they're currently in the lower third of the Premier League table. Somerset, of course, well, they haven't lost as yet, so they really are on a rich vein of form since we were last here in that annihilation of Peterborough. They went to Plymouth and they had to win at Plymouth to get through to the League Cup semi-final. Not only did they win, they had their biggest away win ever by 60 points to 30. Absolute annihilation of the Devils. They then went to Peterborough in the second leg of the knockout cup, almost already a foregone conclusion, of course, after thrashing Peterborough here in the first leg, and they came away with another win, the 5th time in a row that they've won at the East of England Showground by 52 points to 38. And then, of course, last Friday in front of a huge crowd, they won the Premier League pairs. Could be a trophy-laden season for Somerset here tonight. Heaton 1's about to get underway. Robert Lambert, ride replacement, is in white. In yellow black is Victor Pavlovaara, Josh Grajczonek and Bradley Wilson-Dean for Somerset. And it is the Cases Rebels who are there on a 4-2 as Grajczonek leads the way, carrying on where he left off here last Friday. He's out in front. Pavlovaara is in second. Wilson-Dean is in third. And Robert Lambert, well, that's a major surprise. He is at the back as they go down the back straight then on lap number 2. Lambert, of course, who also rides for Kings Lynn in the Elite League and been getting some great scores, also rides for Team GB and was a reserve at Cardiff, although he didn't get a ride. He's being beaten by Wilson-Dean at the moment. Slushy conditions, you can see we've had some rain here this evening ahead of tonight's meeting. They're on the final lap. Grajczonek leads away from Pavlovaara, but all eyes are on that battle for third place. as Bradley Wilson still holding off Robert Lambert. Grajczonek's going to take the win. Second place goes to Pavlovaara, and third spot with it does go to Wilson Dean. That's one of his biggest sculpts of his debut season in the Premier League for Bradley. That was a super effort by him to keep Robert Lambert at bay. Lambert will be absolutely disappointed with that. It results in a 4-2 for the home side. Grajczonek taking his customary win, but what an excellent ride that was by Bradley Wilson Dean to defeat Robert Lambert. That's certainly got the crowd going in heat number 1. Josh having a few words there with his PL Pairs teammate, Rohan Tungate. So heat number 2, the riders out on track. We've got Jake Allen coming out off of gate number 1. Gate number 2 sees Lewis Rose. Gate number 3 sees Zach Wajtknecht, and Danny Phillips comes out off gate number 4. Danny, we see, struggling a bit for points. Newcastle were there. Last action was last weekend when they beat Scunthorpe by 57 points to 32, but to be fair, most teams have been beating Scunthorpe this year. Well, it was an emphatic home win. Danny Phillips, he failed to score in that meeting. Lewis Rose did well, he scored pay 12. And Robert Lambert, who we just saw come last, he got a 4-ride full maximum. Just shows you what a great third place that was for Wilson Dean. Heat number 2, then the reserves race. We're ready to go. Ronnie Allen in charge here this evening, and into that first turn it is the rider in red. That is Jake Allen who leads the way, but in fact Mr. Allen has called a halt to proceedings in that one, and asking for the riders to come back for a rerun. Bit of movement there by Danny Phillips off of gate number 4. He'll be warned, no doubt, and we'll be going again with heat number 2. So back out on track then for the second race. Somerset started off the season so well. They're on a fantastic unbeaten home record, unbeaten run at the moment, as Lewis Rose, it looks as if he took a bit of a gamble there out of the start, but the race has been allowed to continue, and it is Phillips who's coming around the outside of Rose, but Jake Allen making a move on the inside, and he's brought down Lewis Rose, and Ronnie Allen called into action, and I would imagine that would be a disqualification for the rider in red helmet colour. Jake Allen just a little bit impetuous there, and coming through on the inside and bringing down Lewis. Really wasn't the room to come through at that time, and the red exclusion light is on for Jake, and so he will be out of the rerun of heat number 2. Zach Wajtknecht will be out by himself. So the 3 remaining riders then back to the start line, the third attempt at the second race. And well, Danny Phillips again, he is this time it's Danny that has done it again. He's anticipated the start, and I wonder if Ronnie Allen will let him come off of the normal start line, or whether he have to go 15 metres. It's the second time he's done it. Well, I think Danny rather fortunate there. He has been allowed to start at with the other 2 riders. The fourth attempt in heat number 2. Will we ever get the reserves race run as the heat does get underway? And it is Rose from the inside off of gate number 2 leads away. Here comes Phillips around the outside of him, and he's over at the outside of Wajtknecht, and he's got through into second place, and now he comes around the outside of Lewis Rose, and he's moved through in the first. So Phillips and Rose are on a 5-1 over Wajtknecht. It's the Newcastle Sapphire Engineering Diamonds who are on a 5-1 in the second race, as Phillips leads the way from Rose in second place. Wajtknecht is back in third. Only 3 riders in this race then following Jake Allen's disqualification as they go down the back straight. It is still Phillips who leads the way. And Wajtknecht, I don't think you can see, in fact you can see he's pulling off his goggles there as he's lost all vision. So it's going to be a comfortable 5-1 for the Newcastle reserves. The fourth attempt at heat number 2, and we do get a result finally. Danny Phillips taking the victory from Lewis Rose in second. Wajtknecht just crossing the line in third, as Danny, when he made his move on the first lap and came around Zach to get through into eventually into first place. A big 5-1 for the visitors then. And after 2 races, Newcastle lead by 7 points to 5. Heat number 3, next one up. Matej Kus is the rider who comes out off of gate number 1. Paul Starke comes out off gate number 2. Lugvig Lindgren off 3. Charles Wright off gate number 4. And say, looking at the Newcastle lineup, they certainly do look a quality lineup. It could be a tough test for Somerset here this evening. Kus leaded well here last week with his partner Newcastle. Well, of course, Matty was the only rider to defeat either the Somerset riders in that meeting, as we heard earlier. Lugvig Lindgren on a rich vein of form. Heat number 3 is underway, and into that first turn, who's made the start? Well, it is the rider in white. That is Matej Kus, who leads away. Down the back straight, the Czech Republican is held in front from Charles Wright in second spot. In third place it is Paul Starke. Lindgren is at the back, but he's challenging Starke. It's a shared heat at the moment as Kus leads away, carrying on from where he left off here last week. So he certainly knew some quick lines around this Oaktree Arena circuit, and he's leading. Heat number 3 from in second place. It is Charles Wright. Paul Starke in third. Lindgren hasn't really got the setup perhaps correctly sorted out for his first ride. He's at the back as Kus, well, he most certainly is. He's way out in front. Charles Wright and Paul Starke, they got no chance of catching the Newcastle Diamonds. He's going to that third and fourth bend with a comfortable lead as they come around to take the checker flag. Then Matej Kus looking impressive. Got 16 points here last season on a visit, I think, for Redcar, and showing his great form here has continued from last week in the PL pairs. He wins heat number 3. Second place goes to Charles Wright. Third spot to Paul Starke, with Lindgren at the back. So a shared heat, and the Diamonds still lead by 2. Heat number 4, and the race riders out for this one. Danny Phillips comes out off of gate number 1. Zach Wajtknecht comes out off gate number 2. Robert Lambert, a surprising last in his first ride. He's off gate number 3. And Rohan Tungate, he comes out for his first outing. He's off of gate number 4. Rohan just turning away from the start line. So Danny Phillips, we got an excellent win in his first race. Zach Wajtknecht only got a point in that reserves race. Robert Lambert, as we mentioned a couple of times, he finished at the back in his first ride, beaten by Wilson Dean. He'll be hoping to do much better in this one. Going to be tough against Rohan Tungate on the outside. Tungate, well, did he anticipate the start there? Ronnie Allen, well, he has said no because he's let the race go. Maybe Rohan a bit fortunate there to get away with that one, but he get away with it, he has, and he leads the way from Lambert in second place. Danny Phillips has got the beating of Wajtknecht as well again in this one, although Zach now making a move, and he's got up into third place, so that's a good ride by the Bristolian. He's moved through into third place. Here's a 4-2 then for Somerset, trailing by a couple of points at the moment, that this could bring the scores level as Rohan Tungate is out in front. So I think he was a bit fortunate, he got away with that start. He leads the way from Lambert in second place. Wajtknecht doing well to hold off Phillips, who beat him pretty comprehensively in heat number 2. It is a 4-2 for Somerset then. This will be their second of the meeting, and they will level the scores after 4 races. Rohan Tungate, Robert Lambert, Zach Wajtknecht and Danny Phillips, the finishing order of that one. Zach, well, he made a good move coming off the fourth bend on the first lap, at the end of the first lap, and found a way past his man at the start of the second. A 4-2 for the home side then in heat number 4, and the scores are level after the first 4 races. Heat number 5 then. Charles Wright comes out off gate number 1. Victor Pavlovaara is off gate number 2. Paul Starke comes out off gate number 3, and Matej Kus takes a ride replacement outing off of gate number 4. So Newcastle are giving a good account of themselves early on here, as we just wait for the riders to come up to the start line. Overcast evening here this evening, but the racing, as usual, it's very competitive in here at the Oaktree Arena. As just waiting for the riders to get up to the start line then. Start marshal, well, he's doing all he can to get the riders in a straight line, but a bit of a losing task at the moment. Just waiting for Matej Kus now on the outside. Excellent winning his first ride. Can he make it 2 out of 2 off of gate number 4, which has won a couple of races, 3 races so far. The race gets underway and into that first turn, and it is Kus off of gate number 4 who has made the best starts. He leads away from Charles Wright in second, Paul Starke is in third, and Pavlovaara, who got a good second place in his first ride, he's at the back in this one. At the end of the opening lap then it is Matej Kus who leads away, and Paul Starke, well, he's had machinery problems, so that means that Pavlovaara's come through in the third, and it is a heat advantage for the visitors then once again, and this could see them move back into a 2-point lead as Matej Kus is out in front. Charles Wright has got no answer to the speed of the Czech rider in this one. He looks so stylish on a bike, does Matej. He leads away. He represents the Czech Republic, of course, represents his country and has had some good results for them over the years, often a wild card in the Czech Grand Prix, and he wins heat number 5. Second place goes to Charles Wright, third spot goes to Pavlovaara following Paul Starke's retirement, and so it is a 4-2 for the visitors then. Starke, we had got up into third place, but then beset by machinery problems. Kus winning his second race in a row, and the Newcastle, they move back into the lead after 5. Heat number 6, and well, will the real Robert Lambert stand up, please? He's had 2 rides and he's well, he scored 2 points so far, but he will not be happy with that at all. He comes out off gate number 1 in this one. Josh Grajczonek comes out off gate number 2, so it's not going to be easy for Robert. Of course, he was beaten by Josh in the opening race. Gate number 3, well, that sees Lewis Rose, who got a paid win in his first ride, and off gate number 4 is Bradley Wilson-Dean, who beat Robert, of course, in that heat number 1. So Lambert something to prove here in race number 6. Somerset, well, they've got to they'd like to get level fairly soon. We've said it many times, but they do often struggle in the early first half of the meeting to come on strong in the second half. Looks like, well, they are going to win here. It looks like it could pan out the same way tonight. They trail by 2. Heat number 6, it's underway, and so is Grajczonek off of gate number 2. He's clamped down Robert Lambert. Here comes Wilson-Dean around the outside, and Bradley's moved through in the first place. A tremendous ride by the Kiwi. He's out in front. I don't think the home crowd can quite believe this, as Wilson-Dean leads them from Grajczonek in second place. Third spot only is Robert Lambert. Lewis Rose at the back. This is a 5-1-4 Somerset. Super move that was by Bradley to find a way round the outside into first place. Grajczonek, a sneaky look over his shoulder. Sees that Robert Lambert is not that far behind him. Lambert going out very wide indeed, trying to build up the speed, which he seems to be doing. And here he comes around the outside of Grajczonek as if he was standing still. What a move that was by Robert Lambert. Josh Grajczonek comes back on the inside, cracking action in heat number 6, and it looks like it's going to be a 4-2. Here comes Robert Lambert. He tries to find a way past Wilson-Dean, but unable to do so. Cracking action in that one. It is a 4-2 for the home side, as Bradley Wilson-Dean, well, he holds on in tremendous style, coming around the outside. Robert Lambert found a way past Josh Grajczonek as if he was standing still. Lewis Rose at the back. After 6 races, the scores are level, 18 points apiece, but a super speedway race that one was. Race number 7, the riders at the start line. That was a thrilling heat, wasn't it? We have got Rohan Tungate coming out off gate number 1, Matej Kus off gate number 2. Gate number 3 sees Jake Allen and Lugvig Lindgren. Well, he comes out off of gate number 4. Lugvig, well, he didn't score in his first ride. Matej Kus, well, he certainly has in his first 2, hasn't he? Unbeaten from his first 2 outings. Rohan Tungate, well, he also took a win, maybe a little bit fortunate to get away with that start that he had. Jake Allen, of course, well, he was excluded in his first ride, but a little bit too impetuous on his manoeuvre on the Newcastle reserves, bringing down Lewis Rose and getting disqualified for his efforts. Heat number 7, an intriguing Premier League encounter here tonight, 18 points apiece. Ronnie Allen, the man on the buttons, he releases the tapes and into that first corner. Well, it is the rider in white, Matej Kus, who's made another fast start. He leads away. Tungate's got left for dead there. He was in second place, but he's dropped to the back. Jake Allen now in second. Lindgren in third, making a big blast around the outside of the Australian. It looks like the Swede could find a way past. Allen tries to answer him on the inside, but Lugvig has got the better of him. And with Kus out in front, Newcastle, well, this could move them into a 4-point lead again. Oh, well, they say again, it'll be for the first time. Of course, they led by a couple after heat number 2 when they got a 5-1. As Allen, well, he tries to come back on the inside of Lindgren, but Lugvig is still holding on to that second place. Another super speedway race here at the Oaktree Arena. More if you're a Newcastle fan than a Somerset Rebels, though, as Jake Allen, well, he tries to get back through on the inside, but Lugvig, well, he's still just about holding him off. The checkered flag is out. It's going to be win number 3 for Kus, and second place goes to Lindgren. Doing very well there to hold off Jake Allen. Some good action there between those 2 riders. As Lugvig, well, he found a way past on the outside of Jake, and Allen, well, he did try a couple of times to find a way back past, but was not quite able to do so. It does mean it is a massive 5-1 for the visitors, and they now move into a 4-point lead, 23-19. George English will be delighted. Heat number 8, next one up. Jake Allen comes out to take the place of Zach Wajtknecht in this one. A reserve switch by team manager Gary May. Gate number 2, that sees Danny Phillips, a win in the last place for Danny so far. Gate number 3, Bradley Wilson-Dean. He has been quite superb. 4 points from his first 2 rides. That epic win in heat number 6, his best effort. And off gate number 4 is Victor Pavlovaara, who so far has scored 3 points from his 2 races. So Newcastle, they say they will be delighted with the way they are performing at the moment. As heat number 8 is about to get underway. Oh, well, in actual fact, no, it will not, because Danny Phillips, he has just demolished the tapes there. He will be out. George English, what will he do? Will he bring Lewis Rose in? Well, the answer to that is yes, he will. As you can see, Lewis Rose has been brought in place of Danny Phillips. Heat number 8. Second attempt to get the race underway, and it is a good start by the rider in blue. That is Jake Allen. He leads the way. He goes out a little bit wide, but he's got the speed to lead down the back straight, but Wilson-Dean is at the back. That's a bit of a surprise after his heroics from his first 2 rides. Jake Allen leads then from Pavlovaara in second place. Wilson-Dean is in third, although saying that, he's taking a tumble there. He was battling with Lewis Rose for third spot, but he has come down and he is remounted, but the riders are away and gone. It is Jake Allen who leads then from Rose in second place. Pavlovaara is in third. Jake looks as if he's going to get his first win of the meeting. He's been riding superbly well for Somerset this season. One of the finds of the season, it must be said. One of the reasons Somerset are going to be chasing on all fronts for the silverware this year, as Jake, well, he's going to come round and take his first win of the meeting. He crosses the line. Second spot goes to Lewis Rose. Third place to Victor Pavlovaara. And Bradley Wilson-Dean, well, he was battling with his opposite number, but just got it wrong going into that first and second bend. He came down, and well, that was all she wrote as far as Bradley was concerned. Jake Allen, they've got an excellent race win. Somerset on 22, but Newcastle, they are still in front. They are on 26. Heat number 9, next one up. Paul Starke is the rider who comes out off of gate number 1. Off gate number 2, it is Robert Lambert. Gate number 3 sees Charles Wright and Lewis Rose when he comes out off of gate number 4. Charles, he's had a couple of second places so far. He was beaten by Matej Kus a couple of times so far this evening. Will be good for a couple of victories at least at the OTA. Paul Starke, well, he's only scored paid 2 so far. He had a retirement in his last ride. Robert Lambert a last and a second place, or rather 2 second places of course, and Lewis Rose, well, he has scored 4 points, paid 5 from his first 3 outings. So a tough one to call this one. Normally you would say Wright and Starke for a 5-1, but anything could happen. Heat number 9 gets underway. Lambert has made his best start of the meeting. He looked over immediately for Lewis Rose, but Rose is not there. Robert Lambert most certainly is though, because he leads away from Charles Wright in second. Paul Starke is in third. Rose is at the back. It's a shared heat. This will be our second in a row and our third in total. It stays like this, although Lewis Rose is trying to get the better of Paul Starke. But Lambert it is who's stretching that lead out in front from Charles Wright in second place. Wright having another excellent season with Somerset this year. Robert Lambert, we've been a match winner for Elite League Kings Inn on more than one occasion this season. He really is riding exceptionally well, almost certain to be riding for Team GB in the World Cup final. Of course, Team GB seeded this year, what with it being at the National Speedway Stadium. That promises to be a fantastic event at the end of this month, as Robert will be delighted with that to finally get a win under his belt at his 4th attempt. He wins heat number 9. Second place goes to Wright, to third spot to Starke, with Lewis Rose at the back. A 3-all then, and it does mean that Newcastle, they still lead by 4 points after 9. Heat number 10, next one up. And Bradley Wilson-Dean, after that get off in his last ride, he'll be hoping to make amends for that. He's off gate number 1. Lugvig Lindgren off gate number 2, got a paid win in his last ride. Gate number 3 is Josh Grajczonek. He's scored 4 points so far. Passed by Robert Lambert in his last outing, very easily indeed. And the unbeaten Czech Republican and Newcastle Diamond, Matej Kus, he comes out off of gate number 4. Which has been pretty productive so far this evening. We have had 4 race winners in the opening 9 races, so almost 50% success rate off gate number 4. Kus could well start as favourite as this one, although Josh Grajczonek will certainly have other ideas. So Somerset on 25, Newcastle on 29. The start marshal, he looks like he could be a Newcastle Diamond, doesn't he, with that shirt on. Heat number 10, big race coming up. The race is underway. Kus has not made a fast start. Wilson-Dean has though from the inside, and he leads away. Here comes Grajczonek coming around the outside of Lindgren. He's got through in the first place. It is a massive 5-1 this for Somerset, as Grajczonek leads away from Wilson-Dean in second, although Lugvig Lindgren is making a move on Bradley, and he's got through in the second place. But Wilson-Dean, well, he is holding off Matej Kus at the moment. This is a major surprise that Kus is at the back. He just missed out on the start. Tight first turn, and he came off the worst, as Grajczonek leads away then from Lindgren in second place. Wilson-Dean, this will be another important point if he can keep Kus behind him. He looks as if he can at the moment. They're on the final lap then. Josh looks as if he's going to return to winning ways. Lindgren's safe in second place, as is Wilson-Dean in third. It's going to be a 4-2 for the Casey's Rebels, and they're going to close within a couple of points. Josh Grajczonek wins his second race of the meeting. Second place goes to Lugvig Lindgren, and Bradley Wilson-Dean, who led going down the back straight. He finishes in third place. His teammate Josh coming around the outside of him, and then Lindgren a big blast around the outside and getting past Brad on the start of lap number 2, but Wilson did well to hold off Matej Kus, who fails to score and indeed fails to win a race for the first time in his fourth outing. A 4-2 for Somerset then. They move on to 29. Newcastle on 31. 2/3 of the way through this meeting, and the visitors still hold on to that narrow lead then. Heat number 11, Lindgren, ride replacement outing off 1, Rohan Tungate off 2, Victor Pavlovaara off 3, Jake Allen off gate number 4, Allen won his last ride. Heat number 11 is away, and into that first turn is a pretty even break, but it is Rohan Tungate who leads going down the back straight. He ran a last in his previous ride, but it looks as if he's sorted himself out in this one because he's out in front, and Jake Allen is with him in second spot. Lindgren back in third. Pavlovaara, who scored in each of his rides, he scored paid 5 from 3 outings, but he's at the back in heat 11 then, and this is certainly very welcome if you're a Somerset fan, because the home side are on a 5-1, and this would see them move into the lead for only the second time this evening. They led after heat number 1, and they could be leading after heat number 11, because Rohan Tungate it is who's out in front, leading for the second time this evening. Jake Allen looking good in second position. Lugvig Lindgren is only back in third, and Pavlovaara looks as if he's going to fail to score in his fourth ride. They take the checkered flag. That is a 5-1 for Somerset. Definitely needed as well, as Newcastle, well, they've got some big guns coming up in the last few races, and that's a fine victory for Rohan, and Jake Allen excellent second place. Lindgren third, Pavlovaara at the back, and the home side moved back into the lead 34-32. Next up it is heat number 12. We have got Lewis Rose off gate number 1. He has scored, well, he didn't score in his last ride, he scored paid 5 in his first 3. He's off the inside gate position. Gate number 2, that sees Charles Wright. He's had 3 second places so far, due a win really. Matej Kus, oh my goodness, he comes out off gate number 3. He's had those 3 exceptional wins and a last place in his previous ride. And from the outside we've got another reserve switch. Out goes Wajtknecht, in comes very much in form Jake Allen. Jake unbeaten by a diamond in his last 2 races. So getting pretty tense here at the Oaktree Arena now. So it's a cracking Premier League meeting. Great advert for PL Speedway. Heat number 12. We are about ready to go. Can Wright make a big start here as the race gets underway? Well, yes, he can. He's made a super gate off of 2. He leads away from Lewis Rose in second place. Matej Kus, all action style. He's now come around the outside of Lewis in the second place. Jake Allen, he is at the back, so it stands at the moment. It's a shared heat, but watch here for Allen. He's trying to find a way around the outside of Lewis Rose, and as he done so, Rose tries to counter back on the inside, but Jake Allen's got a bit too much speed for him. A tremendous ride this by the Australian, as the Englishman leads away from the Czech Republican, and now here comes Jake on the inside of Kus, and he's moved through into second place. The crowd, they erupt here at the Oaktree Arena. This is super riding by Jake Allen. He's found his way from last into second place. It's another 5-1 for Somerset. Charles Wright is missing all the action out in front. He's going to take a tape to flag victory, but Jake Allen, what a ride by him, finding a way past Matej Kus. That really was quite brilliant from Jake. He really has been one of the finds of the season, we said earlier. He gets around the outside of Lewis Rose, and then a lap or so later he finds a way past on the inside of Kus. Brilliant riding by Jake. He really has got his bike styled in superbly well here to the Oaktree Arena. Charles Wright, as we say, he missed it all, but he gets his first win. Super stuff by him and by Jake. A 5-1, and it does mean that Somerset now lead by 6. Well, after the excitement of that one, what's heat number 13 got in store for us? We have got Josh Grajczonek coming out off gate number 1. Victor Pavlovaara takes a right replacement out in offer 2. Rohan Tungate's off gate number 3 and Robert Lambert's off gate number 4. So we've got the PL Pairs champions for 2016 in tandem here. Heat number 13 is underway and out of the start. And it is Grajczonek from the inside who's made a start. Tungate going out wide, but he's been passed by Robert Lambert. And here comes Tungate on the outside of Pavlovaara. Lambert will remember what he did to Josh Grajczonek in an earlier race. It's very tight at the end of the first lap. Tungate gets through in the 3rd place. How exciting is this one? As Grajczonek leads the way then from Robert Lambert in 2nd spot. Josh getting his revenge for that defeat by Robert earlier on when he pushed him back into 3rd place. As they go down the back straight on the 3rd lap. Lambert trying to get back at Josh, but Grajczonek it is who leads the way as a 4-2 as it stands for the home side. This would see them move 8 points in front. With just 2 races remaining, it would mean that they can't be beaten, of course, here at the Oaktree Arena. As Josh Grajczonek, is he going to make it? 3 wins out of 4. He's just holding off Lambert. It's going to be a race to the checkered flag. Josh Grajczonek wins it. 2nd place goes to Lambert. 3rd spot to Rohan Tungate, with Victor Pavlovaara at the back. With some cracking action once again here tonight. A thrilling match this evening. Tungate, well, he was at the back, as you can see. He finds a way round on the inside of Pavlovaara, who just goes out a bit wide. And well, there's a race-long battle between Grajczonek, who's got engine problems, as you can see, and Robert Lambert. But Josh, well, he held on for the win, and thankfully his bike held out for the 4 laps, and it does mean that the home side, say they've now eked out an 8-point lead. They have come on very strong in the last 3 races, 2 5-1s and a 4-2, 43-35 the lead. 2 races remain. Heat 14, next one up. Lugvig Lindgren comes out off gate number 1. Gate number 2 sees Zach Wajtknecht taking the place of Jake Allen. Must have 3 rides, of course. He's only had a couple as Zach. He hasn't been out, in fact, since heat number 4. So, well, that's a long wait for the young man. Heat 14 now, so that's a little bit unfortunate for the Somerset number 7. He's off gate number 2. Danny Phillips off gate number 3. Hasn't scored since his brilliant win in heat number 2. What can he do in heat 14? And from the outside, it is Paul Starke, who's had a quiet night for Starke. He just paid 4 from his 3 rides. Of course, he did have a retirement in his 2nd outing when in a scoring position. So heat number 14, Newcastle, they need 2 5-1s to pull up an unlikely draw here, but well, they're certainly worthy of a consolation point, you feel. The way they've set about their task here this evening. Somerset have had to dig deep once again, as they also often have done. Heat number 14, we're good to go. Out of the start, big start there by Paul Starke off of gate number 4. But it is Lindgren who's shot off from gate number 1. He leads the way. Starke though comes around the outside. He's out in front. Paul Starke in 1st place. Lugvig Lindgren in 2nd. Danny Phillips has got the beating of Zach Wajtknecht, so not surprising perhaps that Zach is at the back in this one, having not raced for 10 heats. It is a 3-all in heat number 14. This would seal the match for the home side then, as Paul Starke, in fact, well, he's taken a very soft ball there as Starke. He has come down, and the race, well, it has been stopped by referee Ronnie Allen. And well, I wonder if Paul saw that Zach was at the back and didn't make much of an attempt to find a way to get off the track. But either way, the race, well, in fact, it has been awarded a 5-1. It's been awarded to Newcastle, so they still are in with a chance here tonight, because that is a 5-1. They needed 2, of course, for a draw, and they have got the first one of them. Lugvig Lindgren given the win ahead of Danny Phillips. 3rd place awarded to Zach Wajtknecht. And we have got a last heat decider here. Look like the chain come off there for unfortunate Paul. Heat 15 up next. Here we go then, the 4 riders out for the final race. What's been an enthralling Premier League encounter. We have got Robert Lambert off gate number 1. We have got Rohan Tungate off gate number 2. Off gate number 3 it is Matej Kus, who's gone off after those 3 great wins, just 1 point since then. And off gate number 4 is Charles Wright. He gets an extra outing after his win in his last race. And no Josh Grajczonek coming out in heat number 15. That is a surprise. I wonder if that machinery problem is too difficult to repair. Heat number 15 then. Oh my goodness, and Rohan Tungate, well, he has gone straight through the tapes there. And well, that's a no-brainer. The red exclusion light will be on for Rohan. Now Gary Mayer's got a decision to make. Will he bring out, well, you think he'd bring out Jake Allen, the reserve. And well, back at the pits, Gary, well, he's, I think he has made his decision. And Rohan Tungate, well, I don't think he's going to be coming out of the rerun. A little bit impetuous there at the start line. But I don't think he's going to come off 15 metres. Somerset, of course, they do still need a couple of points to take the victory here this evening. We await the manager's decision. And well, there it is. You can see Jake Allen. He has come out to replace Rohan Tungate. So the revised lineup. Robert Lambert is off at gate number 1. Jake Allen off 2. Matej Kus off 3. And Charles Wright, he comes out off gate number 4. A strong duo this for the visitors. But Charles Wright, well, he, as I say, he won his last ride, having started with 3 second places. Neither of the Premier League pairs champions from last week are in this final heat. Heat number 15 gets underway. And into that first turn, and it is Robert Lambert who's made a superstar, and Matej Kus is with him. And Newcastle, they're on for a draw here tonight as it stands at the moment. But Kus, well, he's been overtaken by Charles Wright, and he's now back in 3rd place. As it stands at the moment, Somerset are going to win, and now Jake Allen, well, he's also finding way past Kus. Robert Lambert leads the way from Wright in 2nd place. Jake Allen is in 3rd. In fact, just out a shot. Kus has brought down Jake Allen, and well, a bit of a kamikaze dive up the inside. I don't think we quite got that. We was following the riders out in front, and the well, the yellow exclusion lights come. Oh dear, a bit of handbags there from the Jake Allen, as Matej Kus, well, being pushed away there by Jake's mechanic. But well, it was a speedway race, and it was developing into a cracking race. As Matej Kus, well, he cut back on the inside. Robert Lambert led the way, and at this stage Newcastle, they had a draw, but Charles Wright, he side through on the inside of Kus, and then Jake Allen, well, he also cut through on the inside of the Newcastle number 3. So we just missed Kus trying to find a way back past on the inside. Just about there, he brought down Jake Allen, and a no-brainer for referee Ronnie Allen, and that's will mean, in fact, that Somerset have won here tonight. They cannot be beaten. Newcastle going to have to go with just one rider. Well, you've got to give full credit to the Diamonds here tonight. They've come here and ridden superbly well. So brilliant advert for Premier League racing. So heat number 15, we have got Robert Lambert out by himself now against Jake Allen and Charles Wright. Heat number 15 gets underway, and Somerset, well, even if they don't have a finisher in this race, they cannot be beaten because they lead by 4. Here comes, oh my goodness, Charles Wright, Jake Allen down the back straight, getting some lift, going up against the kickboard. Did very, very well there to stay on his machine. He really is a bit of a harem rider at times, but certainly got plenty of potential, as is the rider out in front. There's Robert Lambert. Looks as if he's going to get what will be just his 2nd win in the meeting. Knowing Robert, he will not be pleased with his score this evening of just 12 points from 6 outings. He would have expected much more of himself from himself than that score. But it looks like at least he's going to finish with a victory. Newcastle, of course, where they are going to take home a consolation point, and it's the least they deserve after putting up an epic display here. As Jake Allen, well, again, he's getting in trouble there. Oh my goodness, Jake just finished the race in one piece as they cross the line. Lambert wins it. Jake does hold on for 2nd spot. Charles Wright gets a point in 3rd. Some good action on the opening couple of bends there of heat number 15, as Jake Allen, well, he provided most of the excitement, managing to get that front wheel back down eventually. A 3-all to finish with then, and at Somerset, well, they just ran out victors here by 47 points to 43, but pushed so hard by Newcastle tonight. Well done to the Diamonds, well done to the Rebels. Robert celebrates in style. Let's go now join Steve on the truck, and I think he's got Steve Bishop with him.
With Steve Bish on the victory parade tonight. Exciting meeting, Steve.
Yeah, very. Had everything, didn't it? Excitement, losing, winning, pulling it back, dropping back again. Controversial, refereeing, and had everything. Excitement. So a good crowd. So the fans got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, I got to say tonight, the guys have worked really hard. I must admit, it did look like that was going to be the first defeat of the season, but they really dug in deep right at the end.
Yeah, sure did. Heat 8, we were struggling, and but yeah, they really dig deep, and like for Jake to come out of that in place of Rowan in the last race, it just showed he was willing to come out and try to do it for us.
Now I know a lot of the guys are fairly wound up tonight, so I don't think we're going to interview anybody, guys, because I can feel the tension on here already, so that's why I'm really interviewing you.
Yeah.
We're going to let the boys enjoy their victory parade, and another great night speedway for the fans here at Somerset.
Well, it certainly was. We give it tonight's scorers quickly, starting with Newcastle. Victor Pavlovaara 4-1, Matej Kus 10, Lugvig Lindgren 8-1, Robert Lambert 12, Lewis Rose 4-1, Danny Phillips 5-1. For Somerset, Josh Grajczonek 10-4, including 3 wins. Bradley Wilson-Dean, that great win, he finished with 5-4. Charles Wright picked it up in his last couple, 10-1 from 5. Paul Starke, not a good night, just 2-2 from Starke. Rohan Tungate 7, including 2 wins. Jake Allen, excellent 10-2 from his 6 rides, and Wajtknecht 3 points. Well done to the Rebels, a close call tonight.